Naomi Findlay here, Australia's Rapid Renovation Expert, and a Happy New Year to you all. I'm actually away on the amazing coast of New South Wales with my family and good friends to start the new year. And there's been lots and lots of talk around the table of what is a great New Year's resolution. Now, I'm not a massive believer in just New Year's resolutions. I'm a believer in goal setting all round. But one really important thing that I wanted to talk to you about today is the 3 very important tips that I use when I'm setting goals around my property and my renovations. So the 3 things that I always consider when I'm goal setting around my renovation is I always make sure, number 1, that whatever I'm setting is aligned with my overall strategy. So I don't like just to have goals that are based maybe on a new fad or a new publication that's come out. I like to make sure that they're based and perfectly aligned with the strategy that I'm using to govern my renovating business. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, I always make sure that they're time bound. So I always make sure that not only are they practical and relatively achievable, but I also make sure that they're within a time period that's going to push me a little. Remember, if you're feeling comfortable and you're inside your comfort zone, then you're not pushing yourself far enough. And tip number 3, and this is one of my most important ones, is I never try and eat a big hairy frog all on its own. I always make sure that my goals are broken down. So for example, if, for example, you're just starting out, one goal that so many people try and set themselves is that they're going to nail 7 properties in the first 6 months. They're going to renovate them, they're going to keep half of them, and they're maybe going to flip the other half. And you know what? That's an amazing goal to have, but it can often impede you getting started because it can just seem too big and too hairy, like a big hairy toad to eat. So, for example, if you're just starting out, or even if you're an experienced renovator and you're wanting to like refresh and revive and re-energize your strategy, I like to break them down into much smaller bite-sized goals. So for example, it may be that within the first 2 weeks, I'm going to have started to work on finding my patch. And then in the next 2 weeks, to round out the first month, I might have identified all of the moving and shaking agents that are working in my area. And then maybe by the end of the second month, I'm going to have become the expert in what I need to do in that space. So know what properties are worth, what they're selling for, and what the market expectations are. So you can see that by breaking them down, you could still get to a big, hairy, audacious goal or a big toad that you need to eat at a 3 or a 6 month period. But make sure you chunk your goals down so that they seem and are completely achievable, and it allows you, 1, to bite them off in good chunk sizes that you can easily chew into and digest, and it also allows you to look back and go, you know what, look at all those things I've achieved, and it will give you much more motivation for moving forward. So they're my 3 big tips around goal setting when it comes to property. Remember that for those of you who are believers in New Year's resolutions, there is still time. For those of you who feel you've missed the boat because we're nearly at the end of January, there is never a better time to set a goal, to create a target. Because remember, if you aim for nothing, you will get nowhere. So set those targets, those goals, make sure they're bite-sized, make sure you give yourself a time limit that's going to push you, and enjoy property, guys. Let's renovate.